Hello everyone, welcome back to another World Cup European qualifiers prediction video. It has literally only been 2 days since I did my last one. Obviously the international break, the need to make sure that all international teams are playing one after another. So obviously the team football, the club football can come back for all the different leagues in Europe. So yeah, we have to do quick fire episodes. This is going to be the last episode of the World Cup qualifiers until September, as you can see on the dates down these sides here as well. So tomorrow is going to be the third round, but today I am making my prediction videos for it. So yeah, it's just going to be the same as usual. If you haven't already seen my previous two rounds, we're just going to be having a look at the previous scores of what's happened in the previous rounds, and then we're going to be predicting every single group for round 3 from A all the way over to J. So yeah, let's just start off with Azerbaijan against Serbia. Serbia drew with Portugal 2-2, and also they have beaten Ireland 3-2 in the first round as well. Serbia have been doing really well so far this competition, and they'll definitely be able to continue their really good form. And this one, after this match, I think they would have 2 wins and 1 draw after the first 3 rounds, and that will put them mostly top of the table. Obviously, it depends if Portugal, how much they beat Luxembourg by, because obviously it will go to goal difference for the top of the table by the end of round 3. But Serbia have been doing really well so far. They put 3 past Ireland, put 2 past Portugal, and against Azerbaijan, it's just going to get better and better for Serbia. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory here for Serbia. Obviously, Azerbaijan, they never played in the second round because obviously there's 5 in their group and it won't add up equally. There'll be a team that always won't play one of the rounds. In this case, for round 3, it is Ireland. They are playing a friendly against the World Cup hosts Qatar, but that's in a friendly match, so we're not going to be predicting Ireland's game in this video. But yeah, Serbia, they're just going to continue their really good run of form and they'll beat Azerbaijan. I can't really see them scoring. Serbia's been playing really well, especially against Portugal with all of their top players. So should be an easy victory for Serbia in this game. Next up is Luxembourg against Portugal. Obviously Luxembourg got that late winner against Ireland. Ireland looked the best team for sure in that game. It was just the late winner from Luxembourg that got them the 3 points. I can't really see them scoring 1 against Portugal, although Portugal have not been playing that well lately. I think it'll be another 2-0 win. Obviously, I think Portugal, they can score goals. They scored 2 against Serbia. They just need to, I don't know. I think it's really mainly their attack. They need to score more goals, but their defence, Portugal's defence in the match against Serbia, they shouldn't really have let those 2 goals in. But they are playing against Luxembourg, which should be an easier opponent for Portugal. So I think they'll get the job done with a 2-0 victory. Okay, now moving on to Group B for round 3. We've got just the 2 matches, with Sweden getting a obviously not playing for the third round. Obviously, there's 5 teams in this group, so there's always going to be one that needs to play a friendly match. So Greece, they drew 1-1 with Spain in round 1, and obviously Greece was the country that didn't play in round 2, so they had a big break. Now, would that be good for them? I think Greece might have wanted to continue with how they left off, but now they're going to have to start from the beginning. Georgia, did lose 1-0 to Sweden. They did score a goal against Spain, but they did lose that one as well. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw here. Nope, not 3-2. I do that a lot. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw here. I think both teams, obviously, you think, well, probably you wouldn't think that they'll make it into the World Cup. If I was to guess who would make it through, it would be Spain and Sweden. But these two sides have been playing really well, and yeah, I think it'll be a 2-2 draw. If I was going to pick a winner, I would pick Greece, but I think both teams can get a point in this game. So next up is Spain against Kosovo. Should be an easy game for Spain. This one, obviously, Sweden beat them 3-0, and obviously it is Spain. Now Spain have been looking really bad lately. They've not been able to score any goals, but this should be a good game for Spain. I won't say that they'll score as many as Sweden did, but they will get a nice, comfortable 2-0 victory against Kosovo in this game. Now moving on to Group C, we've got Lithuania against Italy. Of course, Italy picking up 6 points in their last 2 games with both matches that they've played 2-0 victories. Lithuania, they've only played 1 round so far, and that was in the second round. So this is going to be their second match out of the total 3 rounds. Obviously, again, there are 5 nations in this group, so there's always going to be the odd one out. I think Italy will continue their good run of nice, comfortable 2-0 victories and get another 2-0 victory here against Lithuania. I can't see Lithuania scoring a goal, but I think they'll be able to, obviously not hold on, but they'll have their moments. But overall, I've gone 2-0 Italy. Next up is Northern Ireland against Bulgaria, where Bulgaria did lose 3-1 to Switzerland and 2-0 to Italy. And Northern Ireland, of course, in their first round, they did lose 2-0 to Italy as well. They did play in a friendly against USA the other day, instead of playing in the second round, and that ended 2-1 to the USA. So I'm going to say both teams are going to pick up a point in this one, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Okay, moving on to Group D. Again, there is the 5 nations in this, so there's only going to be 2 matches between 4 nations, and one of them is going to have not an alibi, but they'll have a friendly against another nation. So it's Bosnia against France. France started a bit shaky with their 1-1 draw against Ukraine, but they brought it back with a 2-0 victory against Kazakhstan. Bosnia, they managed to score 2 against Finland, and then obviously they had a break for the round 2. Obviously, looking at this, I would say Bosnia would get 1, and I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to go for a France victory, but only just. I'm going to go 2-1 to France. And next up is Ukraine against Kazakhstan. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Ukraine scoring 1 against France and scoring 1 against Finland. They've picked up 2 draws in their last 2 games. Ukraine still yet to have an international friendly match. This is going to be their 3rd match out of the full 3. With who's having the international break? It's Finland that's having the international break this time. So I'm going to go. I'm not sure. It's most likely this one's going to end up as a draw, but I think Ukraine might just nick the 1-0 win here. Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 to Ukraine. It'll be very, very, very tight, but I'm just going to edge Ukraine to get the victory. Now moving on to Group E, we've got Belgium against Belarus. Belgium beating Wales 3-1, but then drawing to Czech Republic. Obviously, Belarus, they beat Estonia 4-2. Obviously, Estonia not being the greatest nation in this group so far after getting smashed 6-2 by Czech Republic. But they are scoring 2 goals in a game, it looks like. And obviously we'll have to wait until September for Estonia against Belgium, because obviously I don't think Estonia will be able to score 2 against Belgium. But yeah, I'm going to go for a Belgian victory, obviously, just because Belarus managed to score 4 against Estonia. Once again, it is against Estonia. Belgium only did draw 1-1 with Czech Republic. Did score 3 against Wales. I would probably go for a 2-1 victory, but it could be a 2-0 victory to Belgium. It'll be very hard for Belarus to score. You know what, I am going to change that. I'm going to go 2-0 to Belgium. Yeah, I can't really say Belarus will score a goal just because they scored 4 against Estonia. So yeah, I've gone for a 2-0 victory for Belarus. Next up is Wales against Czech Republic. I think this is going to be a goalless draw. This is going to be my first goalless draw that I've predicted so far in the European qualifiers. I can see both teams having chances, but not really scoring enough goals. So if there is going to be a winner, I might just edge Wales, but you really can't say. So yeah, I'll go for a 0-0 draw. It could end 1-1. If one team is going to score, I would probably say the other team will score as well. So either 1-1 or 0-0, but I'll stick with the 0-0 draw. And now moving on to Group F. Just get rid of the highlighted teams there. And we've got Moldova against Israel. In this match, Israel got the draw against Scotland 1-1, where Moldova did get thrashed 8-0 by Denmark. Moldova did get the 1-1 draw against the Faroe Islands as well, but no one's heard of them, so obviously they'll get smashed. Israel are still a really good team. Could this be a chance for Moldova to actually get a goal? They haven't really looked likely of getting any goals, so I don't think they will. And I think it'll be a 3-0 win for Israel. Israel did really well in their match against Scotland. And yeah, I think could be 2-0, but I think I'll stick with the 3-0. So next up is Austria against Denmark. Just to point out, there is 6 teams in this group, so there is no breaks for either nation in this group. There's always going to be 3 matches happening. So it's Austria against Denmark. After Denmark have got off with a brilliant start after beating Israel 2-0 and Moldova 8-0. They are top of the table with a goal difference of 10 with 6 points. They are playing against Austria, which did score 3 against the Faroe Islands, but credit to Faroe Islands as well for scoring a goal in that game as well. Austria did get a 2-2 draw with Scotland. It'll be a very tight game, this one. I think Denmark will continue their run. And pick up another 3 points in this game. Scotland against the Faroe Islands should be a pretty easy game for Scotland. I'll go 3-1. I think Faroe Islands will be able to get another goal. So far they have managed to score 1 in every match so far, so you've got to back them to score 1. But Scotland, they played well. Both teams played well in the match against Israel. So I'll go, obviously against the Faroe Islands, it should be an easy game for Scotland. Group G now. Again, 6 nations, so there's another 3 matches. We've got the nation that I just cannot pronounce. Is it Gibraltar? Gibraltar, I don't know. And they are playing against the Netherlands. Gibraltar, however you say it, obviously losing 3-0 and 4-1 to Norway and Montenegro, another nation that I don't really know how you say it really that well. So I'll go for a Netherlands victory. Obviously they managed to beat Latvia 2-0. This should be an easy game. I'll go for a 3-0 victory for the Netherlands. Next up, Montenegro against Norway. They did manage to score 4, Montenegro, and Norway did lose 3-0 to Turkey. They also did beat that nation 3-0 as well. Who's looking really likely? I don't know. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I'll go 2-2. Really, both teams have had fairly... Each team is as good as one another in this game, really. I mean, I would say Norway, Turkey or the Netherlands is the best in this group. Latvia, Montenegro or Gibraltar. I wouldn't really say that good, but Montenegro, they've been scoring quite a few goals, so you got to continue to back them to score goals. So I'll go for 2-2 draw in that one. Next up is Turkey against Latvia. Should be a easy game. I'll go. Latvia have scored 1 against Montenegro. Didn't manage to score against the Netherlands. I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory for Turkey in this game. You've got to have some high scorers in the qualifiers for the World Cup against some of the lower down nations. But now we're moving on to Group H, another 3-game round 3 with Cyprus against Slovenia being the first one. Cyprus have not managed to score so far in their first 2 matches. They lost 1-0 to Croatia and got a goalless draw with Slovakia. Slovenia managed to score 1 against Russia and did beat Croatia. Croatia has not been looking that well actually recently. They are playing Malta in this group. Malta did score 2 against Slovakia. Wow. I've been underestimating Malta, but we'll get to that bit in a second. I'll go for a Slovenia victory. Cyprus haven't managed to score 1, but they haven't really conceded that many either as well. Only the 1 goal they've conceded to Croatia. So I'll go for another 1-0 victory for Slovenia. Slovenia haven't been able to score. They've been able to score 1 in each of their games so far. So I think they'll continue to get these scrappy wins, but still get the job done. Croatia against Malta. So looking at the recent form, Malta looks more likely to beat Croatia. Obviously, I don't think that will happen. Croatia have only scored 1 goal in their last 2 rounds, picking up 1 win and 1 loss. The loss to Slovenia and the winning against Cyprus. Malta drew with Slovakia and managed to score 1 against Russia. You would really back Croatia for this one, but football is full of surprises, so I am going to go for a 1-0 victory for Malta here. I've not watched any of their games so far, so this will be a very interesting one if they're showing it on Sky Sports or somewhere. So Malta, I might go for a draw, but I've got to have to go for a shock result in some of these matches, so I'm going to back Malta to win this one. Slovakia against Russia. Again, this should be a very interesting game. Russia winning both of their games so far, beating Malta and Slovenia, where Slovakia have drawn both of their games. They scored 2 against Malta and it was a 0-0 draw with Cyprus. Russia have scored 3 against Malta and scored 2 against Slovenia. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this game. Both teams will have some chances and they'll both get a point in this game. Group I, now England's group. But first up, we are predicting Andorra against Hungary here. Hungary beating San Marino 3-0, probably as expected. They drew 3-3 with Poland. Andorra, again, not really that team that you would really expect to do well. They did almost survive against Albania, but did lose it in the end. So this should be an easy game for Hungary. They've scored 3 goals so far. I think they'll only score 2 goals this time, Hungary, but it'll still be a very nice, comfortable 2-0 victory for Hungary. Next up is England against Poland. Robert Lewandowski, the Bayern Munich striker, one of the best strikers in the world, in my opinion. And they are coming... it's going to be Lewandowski against Harry Kane, really, isn't it? And Poland, obviously, they've scored 3 in both of their games with a 3-3 draw with Hungary and a 3-0 victory over Andorra. England did beat San Marino 5-0, but that's San Marino. They're not going to qualify. We can forget about San Marino. So it doesn't really matter if we scored 10 or 20 against San Marino. We only scored 2 against Albania. I don't know, I think this is going to be a tight game, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this one. Both teams will score goals because both teams have got some really excellent strikers on the pitch. So I'll go for a 2-2 draw. Next up is San Marino against Albania. Will San Marino manage to score 1 goal in this qualifier competition? I'll probably back them to score 1 goal against Andorra, but not in this game. I'll go for a 2-0 victory for Albania. Now moving on to the last group, Group J, another 3 matches with 6 nations for round 3. We start off with Armenia against Romania. Romania just losing 1-0 to Germany, and Armenia did beat Liechtenstein 1-0, and they did beat Iceland 2-0, so they've got 6 points so far. Romania, again, they beat Macedonia 3-2 and just lost out to Germany. This will be a tight game. I would probably say Romania is the more likely team to win this one, because Armenia did get Liechtenstein in, and beat them 1-0, but the fact that they beat Iceland 2-0 as well without conceding to Iceland, that's impressive. So I will probably go for another draw here. I'll go for a 1-1 draw, but once again, either team could win this one. Germany against Macedonia. North Macedonia has been absolutely brilliant so far. I was not expecting this at all from Macedonia, but they did play against Liechtenstein, and now they are up against Germany. Obviously, Germany, they need to be scoring more goals than they have been doing. That should have been 7-8-0 against Romania, the chances that they're getting. So I'll go for a 3-0 win, not 33, 3-0 win for Germany. 3-0 win for Germany. I'm going to change that to a 3-1. I think it will still be a nice easy win for Germany, but just looking at Macedonia, I think they will be able to get a goal. They might even be able to score the first goal as well, give them something to hold on to, but obviously Germany will come back in my opinion. Liechtenstein against Iceland is the last match of the video, and Iceland have got a -5 goal difference with 0 points on the table, with a 2-0 loss to Albania and a 3-0 loss to Germany. Liechtenstein have both got losses as well, with a goal difference of -6. So really, Iceland should win this game. Iceland haven't scored, neither has Liechtenstein. So when you like these two teams, they've not scored any goals so far in their first 2 matches. So you're thinking, will this be a 0-0 draw? I don't think so. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Iceland. It will just be very close, but Iceland probably just have that advantage. So yeah, that is it for my round 3 for the World Cup European qualifiers for 2022. All of the groups done for round 3. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Bye.